We're joined right now by the head coach of the Orlando Solar Bears, Vince Williams. And, Coach, we gave our fans an opportunity to ask some questions through the team's Facebook page, some things that they wanted your insight in. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. And maybe we'll start with one of the most current things that's going to be going on, and that, of course, is the free agent camp, which is just about 2 weeks away from right now. What are your free agent camp expectations? What are you maybe looking to see out of that free agent camp?
Well, I think it's an opportunity for players to be able to showcase themselves, and have an opportunity to, earn a camp spot. And, I'm a big believer that, sometimes a lot of guys don't have the right representation or haven't had the right opportunity for whatever reason. And, this allows the player to come in and showcase their skills and try to earn themselves an opportunity to go to the main camp. So, I've seen some of these camps in the past, and I was a part of it last year, and there was obviously a couple guys that stood out, and certainly one that more than the others that earned himself a spot. So, you want to see what these guys are going to bring, and like I said, it's a short period of time, but it also allows them an opportunity to be able to showcase their skills and bring something to the table that maybe somebody didn't recognize through lack of opportunity or exposure in the past, and then this is a good opportunity for them to showcase it.
Kind of along those lines as well, we've already seen the roster start to fill out here throughout the course of the summer, but how many more guys do you maybe expect to add before the main camp begins right around the start of October?
Well, the biggest thing is you're always working to try to improve your hockey club, and anything that we feel fit that will help improve it, we'll make those decisions. So there's probably I'd say a few more players that we want to add to our active roster. And then, we'll still be open to looking at PTOs. And on top of that, eventually players that, may trickle down from our affiliates. So, but, it's an everyday process that, you're doing. I mean, part of your job in recruiting is to make sure that you look at every single option and every opportunity that comes across the board, and you make those decisions that you feel are going to help improve your hockey club and complement it. And, it's quite the process because again, you have to make sure that you do your homework and that you look at all aspects of it and what a player can bring to the table, not only on the ice but off the ice. But we looked at probably a few more players in the next few weeks here, and I know things have been a little bit quiet, but we're also being a little patient with a couple guys that are still out there.
Yeah, and some of those guys potentially could include some players on qualifying offers, such as Eric Byer, Tyler Marovich, Blake Kessel, Cody Reichert. Any update that you can give on those four?
Well, I mean, we're still in talks with a few of them, and we're just, basically just trying to see what best fits. I know there were some guys that were looking at, other avenues as far as, whether they were going to still come back and play in North America, or they were looking at European options. But, in the next week or two, like, those guys will be addressed, and, we'll see where we're at.
Can you talk at all about how the Solar Bears find players both during the summer and then, of course, as we know, a lot of player movement goes on during the season? What do you look for? Can you explain that process at all in a general sense?
Well, sometimes you don't have the resources to see the player play. If it's not a player that's already played in our league that we already have some familiarity with, there is some video tools, but a lot of it is over the phone and making calls and calling coaches, former coaches, general managers, scouts, trainers, guys who played with them. And, there's a lot of aspects in the sense where there's certain dynamics that you're looking for in a certain type of player. I mean, obviously with the amount of movement in our league, when you're recruiting players that can play in all situations and, do some power play on the penalty kill, good defensively, a guy that you feel comfortable with, in the last minute of a game or last minute of a period. And but the biggest thing is the character aspect of it, and the type of person he is, and if it's a guy that's going to fit the mold and culture of our team and organization, and someone that's going to be an integral part of the community, is going to be a great teammate, and those are all things that can be deal breakers when you're recruiting players. I mean, you want to make sure that you have a real positive dressing room, a great culture, and guys that are invested into the organization and the community that's going to help us win a championship. And, there's always certain pedigrees and things that you look for. Something, for example, that I look for is some basic leadership qualities that he may have had in his profile in the past. If he, if he was a captain of a team or an assistant captain of a team, how much, playoff experience have they had in the past? And you look at junior players and college players. I mean, it's amazing when you really look back at the careers. You have guys that have won championships and have been there, and these are all things that when you're doing your research, I mean, when you look online and you're looking at players' profiles on a computer screen, I mean, it only tells one story. I mean, you have to make, 5-10 phone calls and get those responses and really do your homework. And with Danny Brooks on board as well, he's another, avenue for information and someone who, is well connected in the hockey community as well that can help with that. And then we can, correspond with each other and make a decision as an organization if we feel that this guy's going to be someone that can help our hockey club.
We're here with the head coach of the Orlando Solar Bears, Vince Williams, having an opportunity to answer some questions that the fans asked to the Orlando Solar Bears organization through the team's Facebook page. And, Coach, you already answered, I think, a little bit of the start of this next question, which is, what does Danny Brooks bring to the table as a new assistant coach with the Solar Bears? You talk about how well connected he is from a player recruiting standpoint. What other things does Danny Brooks bring here to the Solar Bears?
Well, he has a vast history, in many leagues in North America. His experience in Europe, he's been, he's been at the NHL level. He's been at the American League level, college. So, from a resource standpoint, he has a lot of pedigree of recruiting, which is always important, and something that he went through at Brown University. So very familiar with the process and what it entails. I think the biggest thing was, the video work, the teaching, the communication, and how it's going to help our hockey team and a lot of players. I think was a real standout factor for me. And I think sometimes that, if you can really utilize and maximize the amount of information that comes out of our dressing room and our team, and we have two people that can really, get it into these guys' heads or what we're trying to do and make them better players, make them better pros and people. It's going to help. He's going to really bring that element to our team and our organization. He's a tireless worker, great passion for the game. Someone who takes a lot of pride in the player development aspect of what we do, after practice, individually with the players, what their expectations are, off the ice, in the gym and whatnot as well. And these are, and this is also somebody that has also seen it at the highest level of hockey in the world, at the National Hockey League. So, when you can, extend that type of information out to the players and for everybody, it makes us it brings a lot to this team and the organization. And like I said, I think it was a great find and a great fit for me and the organization as well. And we're looking forward to the players and myself working with Danny this season.
Coach, I know this one might be a little bit more in the department of equipment manager Adam Dexter, but can you talk about how sweater numbers get handled in terms of giving them out to the players? We know we see a lot of guys coming in and out at times during the course of the year, and a lot of different numbers have to get tossed around. Can you talk about the policy for assigning those numbers to the players?
Well, the biggest thing is sometimes you don't have a choice. You just show up and you have your number. A lot of the times, a lot of guys have worn the same number over the years and throughout their career. And obviously, there's some guys it's some more significant meaning than others. And we want guys to be able to express themselves, but again, we don't want them feeling that their expression has to come solely through the number that they wear. I mean, obviously, they're a Solar Bear, and we want guys to play for the jersey in the front and whatnot. But a lot of the times, we give the players a choice of three, and we try to make it work for everybody so that we can try to, in the best that we can, give everybody an opportunity to wear a preferred number. And that seems to always worked out. Every time we gave them a choice of three numbers, it seemed like we got everybody happy, and which is good. But at the end of the day, I think once these guys get to the pro level, sometimes it doesn't work like that anymore, where sometimes you get the number that you get and they're excited to be a professional hockey player. But for the most part, they do have a choice to some degree, and we try to accommodate them. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, then they get the number that they wear. But we traditionally like to keep the numbers between 2 and 35 and whatnot. And we've always prided ourselves on making sure that we're not we're trying to get these guys to be comfortable in whatever jersey that they're in.
That is the head coach of the Orlando Solar Bears, Vince Williams. Make sure to stay tuned to the Orlando Solar Bears website at orlandosolarbearshockey.com, as well as Twitter and Facebook, as we near the start of the 2014-15 All-Star season here in Orlando.